The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
It's a football Friday. Do the Jets have any chance to win their first game on Sunday? A Jets insider says absolutely. What does Fireman Ed think about that? And much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
the 2025 New York Jets season is officially here. Can Aaron Glenn lead the team back to the playoffs and finally deliver on the promise this roster has shown? Every step of the journey, the Jake Asman Show will have you covered, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Before we get started, make sure that you hit the like button and you subscribe to the channel. We will have a post-game show immediately following the Jets and the Broncos on Sunday, so tune into that. And if you miss it, reminder, we podcast every YouTube show in audio form on either Apple or Spotify, so search Jake Asman Show, and you can listen back to anything you might have missed. Let's say hello to our guy in his weekly spot, Fireman Ed. Ed, Jets in London, looking for their first win. Do they find their first win Sunday across the pond? Do you have any hope, any optimism for the Jets in this one?
Well, I think the Broncos are a tough team, a very tough team. So, they're going to have to play the best game they've played all year. They can't turn the ball over. Very few penalties, and hope that the Broncos turn the ball over. That would be, we need to get a couple of turnovers. We haven't had one. So obviously the script would have to be turned completely for them to win that game. Do I feel confident in them winning that game? Absolutely not.
You can't.
No, absolutely.
But we saw the Giants last night beat the Eagles. We've seen the Browns beat the Packers this year. Contrary to what we experience as Jet fans, upsets happen every week in the NFL. That's why no one's alive in their survivor pools right now. Even the Titans lucked into a win. And that's why, if you're not going to win, show some pride, show us something. Because I know you were there on Sunday against Dallas. That was embarrassing. And this fan base, yourself, everyone involved with this organization, we all just deserve better because it's enough of those type of performances. Show some pride this week if you're going to lose. My God.
You know what, Jake? Listen, this is the NFL, and the greatest players play in this league. Only the best play. So when you take someone lightly in this league, that's on you because they're all prideful athletes. They're the best in the world. So at any Sunday, these teams, the worst team, which we are, can rise to the occasion. So we'll see. As far as on Sunday, that was an absolute pathetic. It was pathetic. And namely on the defensive end of the ball, which everybody sees. There's what I'm more concerned about anything else. We have, like I said in the past, Aaron Glenn is a Jet. I want him to succeed. I think we all do. But with that being said, you're the defensive coach. There's no effort. The biggest thing, what I would say is urgency. Where's the urgency? When that defense plays, there's no urgency. I made one comment, one statement during the game. It was a 3rd and 10, and it was the second quarter, and Dak Prescott threw a flare pass out to the left side. And the linebackers and the corners and the safeties, there was no urgency. He got 12 yards. By the time they reacted, he was already 8 or 9 yards from the line of scrimmage. There was no way you were going to stop him. There was no urgency. And that's just one play of many that we watch. We all, in this day and age, everybody gets to watch, whether it's the all 22 or you can see what's going on. Your name's on the film. I mean, that's your name. Like it's so frustrating because if they played like they did against the Steelers the first game, we would be okay with that because they give a maximum effort. And, it was a couple of it was a fumble, but overall.
They'd have a win or two right now. They sustained that through the other games.
Right. And, instead we're watching a team that you would have to say there's times where you look, they quit. On the defensive end, for sure, they quit. And they're not a smart football team. And, Aaron has said all along, we're going to be a smart football team. We're going to be a disciplined football team. We're none of that. None of that in 5 games. So, there's not a lot to look forward to as a Jet fan at this point. You just get more upset, more disgusted, and it's rightfully so, and I understand it. And the fan base is showing it because they're not showing up to the stadium. You got this time in the Cowboy game, I would think there was more Cowboy fans than there were Jet fans, honestly. So.
Fireman Ed with us in his weekly spot. All right, let's start with some good news at least. Germaine Johnson is going to play on Sunday. Aaron Glenn saying that earlier today. That's a guy who cares. That's a leader. That's a guy who should help. Does he fix everything? Of course not. But that is a positive, especially for a guy coming off the injury he suffered last year. Hopefully he can stay healthy the rest of the way because they already picked up his 5th-year option, but you're going to have to make a decision on him and then Will McDonald the following year. So let's hope Germaine coming back is a big boost. I also want to share this. Football Friday, we always step up our in-show giveaways. I have a signed Germaine Johnson jersey I will raffle away in honor of JJ's return at the end of the stream today. So gift a membership for your chance to win that. Shout out to Marvelous, who earns himself 5 raffle tickets because he gifted 5 memberships right as the show began. So he has 5 chances to now win the JJ jersey. Marvelous, this is for you. Good times in Tampa. Black Gypsy in for one as well. Remember that, Ed? We were optimistic still. Even at 0-2, it's like, you know what? Let's go get a win and get the season back on track.
Yeah, we thought that. Germaine Johnson's a big shot in the arm. If you look at anything on this team, the 4 guys that are up front, first off, what happens is by him coming back, we will hopefully not see much of Michael Clemens. I mean, I'm hoping we're not going to see much of Michael Clemens.
You'll see less.
Will McDonald. Well, you're going to see a little bit of him, but hopefully, Will McDonald play. Will McDonald. I don't want to hear he can't stop the run, stop the bullshit, because Clemens can't stop can't do anything. So, you got 4 guys up front that play with maximum effort. Really 5. Briggs is another guy. Those guys play with maximum effort. Harrison Phillips, love what he's doing. Quinnen Williams. Listen. Our problem on that defense is the linebackers and the back 7, the back 6, back 7. They're just a disaster, an absolute disaster. I mean, I don't know if it's communication. It's they're 5 games in. They're doing the same bullshit. I mean, they're over pursuing. It's just crazy what's going on that defense. Like, you look at it and you go, is this high school? What is this? So Germaine will definitely help. We need more guys like Germaine that, have that attitude. So, I'm excited about him coming back. Let's see if we can get those 4 to play 75% of the snaps this week. Let's see if we could do that.
That'd be nice.
Jermaine Sherwood, but while I'm at Jermaine Sherwood, I mean, I don't know what's happening with him. I don't know. He signed a contract. Oh, is he missing Quincy Williams? Like, what? He's lost. You look at him on film. Do you see his film? I mean, it is incredible. It's unbelievable. This is the leader. He's a captain. He's a captain of the team.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he doesn't like the scheme. He doesn't like what he's calling.
There's been bad effort from him too. And this is a guy that was team MVP last year, voted on by his own teammates.
Yes. Here, I tell you, the biggest two disappointments I would say in the defense is him and Michael Carter. I mean, you would have to say that.
Well, 100%. Because
they were two of the best players that we had.
That's why I think it's a coaching problem. Like, I don't think these guys just all of a sudden forgot how to play football. I don't think Wilkes and Glenn implementing this defense is reaching the players. I think they have serious doubts. And I think there's a lot of harbored resentment for Salah getting fired and the defense now imploding. And these guys have the worst mentality. Anytime they deal with any adversity, they fold. You can't overcome anything.
But if that's the case and you're right, like just say that you are right. We're just going with the scenario. You get rid of them. They got to go. Because if you're 0-5, I'm a believer. If you're 0-5 with them, might as well be 0-5 without them.
Right.
I mean, what's the difference? Like if that's the case and you're still worried about what Salah was doing and I don't like this defense and all of that, well then, Aaron's got to know the pulse of the team and see that because the film don't lie. The film does not lie. And when you see that, they got to be replaced. And you might as well replace them and be 0-5 without them because they ain't helping you. And they're not helping your job because if I'm Aaron Glenn, I don't want to be one and done. All right? And the more losses and the bigger losses, and if it continues, unfortunately for him, after 14 seasons of no playoffs, that's just the reality of it. Wrong place, wrong time. Okay? I'm rooting like hell for the guy. He's a Jet. But, results are results. You are what your record says you are. That comes from his idol, Bill Parcells. He's the one that said it. You are what your record says you are. And right now you're 0-5. You got to play a smarter brand of football, a more disciplined brand of football, because what we're seeing is disgraceful. And it's very disheartening for the fan base because there's so much talent on a team that we think we see. We see talent on that team. They assembled talent before he even came. So it's basically, a lot of it's Douglas's guys. And there is a lot of talent there. And
be careful, Ed. You'll piss the people off that now conveniently are trying to blame the Jets being the only team without a win on, the roster is so bad. And it's like, come on, stop. Stop with the revisionist history. It's not true.
That's not true. It's just not true. Listen, I want to see them keep the core four, which I call the core four, which is Germaine, Brees, Sauce, and Garrett, because that was our class. I want to see them succeed. You understand? Is it possible that it won't happen? I don't know. I mean, Brees has been a bright spot on the team. I know they punched the ball out the other day, but Brees is playing well, real well. And Germaine coming back. I know there are a lot of guys around Sauce, but Sauce is still a good corner. And I'd love him to tackle a little better. And Garrett is Garrett. So, you got to have a base there that you can rely on. You just do. And, you can't just completely start over where you're just going to wipe everything out. To me, there's about 11 guys on that team that I would keep, and the rest you could just do what you want. I would keep the offensive line because you can't get enough offensive linemen. You could never get enough. And those 5 guys are good. We don't know what's going to happen with AVT. All right, we don't know. You got Garrett, you got Sauce, you got Germaine, you got Will, you got Quincy, you got Quinnen, and maybe Harrison Phillips and Briggs. I mean, that's about it.
Quincy, free agent, Brees, free agent. And those are the names to watch as the losing continues. And they're sitting there with a 1 win at the trade deadline. You got to consider it.
You have to consider it. I mean, I as much as I love the guys, you have to, if you get something good for them. But I'm talking about, Jake, we're not getting a 4th and a 5th rounder. Okay? You need to get a second and third round pick for these guys. All right? Those are quality picks. If anything less than a third is hell with that. No. So, it's unbelievable that we're talking about this on October the 10th. I mean, it really is. It's so disheartening, we all deal with all of our buddies, all my buddies are Jet fans. And, it's mind-boggling is what it is. It's mind-boggling. Remember one thing, and I said this back when I was on your show. I believe that they should have kept Aaron Rodgers because I wanted him to groom a quarterback who they could have drafted. All right? Like the Steelers did with Will Howard, right? They drafted Will Howard. They give him an opportunity to learn from the best, right? This is what I thought should have happened. Instead, we didn't do that. Now, I want to see Justin Fields. I'm not completely down on Justin Fields. We're 4 games with him. We didn't have him a 5th game. So we're 4 games in. I want to see a little more. Do I like he holds on to the ball? Nobody likes that he holds on to the ball too long. Nobody does, okay? But I got to see a little more before I'm going to write Justin Fields completely off. I need to see a little bit more, Our offense is not the problem. I mean, listen, he turned the ball over a couple of key fumbles there.
Well, that's the problem, right? Because
those are killer. Those are killers. But our defense folds.
Correct.
As soon as that happens, they fold. They two drives over 90 yards each one, right? With the Dolphins and with the Cowboys. Right after. And, it also Quinnen was right yesterday when he said it's the defensive's fault we're 0-5.
100%.
I couldn't agree. That's a leader.
You want to see a leader too? Germaine Johnson, speaking with reporters right now in London, said the Jets defense had a players-only meeting where they held each other accountable for what's been happening. Let's see. They could talk all this talk about how we're going to get better. Go out there when no one's giving you a chance and put forth a spirited effort and play a competitive game against a team that has not been home in 2 weeks. They went from Philly, staying in Philly, flying out of Philly to London. Maybe it's a trap game for Denver. We'll get into that coming up with some comments from a Jets reporter, Brian Costello, on that. But Ed, all this talking, great, wonderful. Aaron Glenn saying the cardinal sin if you're a Jet fan.
No,
they had a good week of practice.
Don't do it.
Enough.
Don't do it. I knew it.
Listen,
why? Now, I don't know if he came out and just said that or if someone asked him how practice was. But either way, even if they asked him what practice was, it was fine. We got to win.
Doesn't matter. All that matters is how we perform on Sunday.
It was fine. We got to win Sunday.
Yeah,
that's it.
Be like,
no, practice was good. Nobody gives a rat's ass. Okay, it's like Allen Iverson said. We're talking about practice. Practice. We're talking about practice. What are we talking about? We're talking about practice. I mean, come on, man. Please go out and play on Sunday and show this fan base that we have balls. We're going to be more disciplined because now we're in 6th game of the year. Okay. So we're a third of the way through the season. Okay. Let's see if we can come together as a team, because don't blame the fans for acting the way we are. We love them more than I think they love them. We love them so much, but we're not getting any love back. There's no love coming back. There's nothing worse in life than when you love something so much, but they don't love you back. And that's the way the fan base feels. It's just the way it is. Okay? It's 14 years and 15 looks like coming that we're not going to see no postseason. We're not going to see no playoff. We're not going to see nothing. But when the ticket prices are going to stay, we may get that bill in November. Let's be real here.
Trap game on Sunday, perhaps, for the Broncos. Let's see if anyone's buying it. Brian Costello on the Gangs All Here podcast with Ryan Sampson and Frankie V. He's picking the Jets. He explained why.
All right, Frankie, the negativity has gotten to Frankie, Ryan. You guys are all so negative now.
What is there to
all
be
this
positive
negativity,
about?
He's going to be more negative.
This negativity, I'm going to bring some positivity to the show.
Yes.
The biggest development for this game on Sunday did not happen this week in England. It happened last Sunday in Philadelphia. The Broncos beating the Eagles was huge for the Jets because I think the Broncos are going to roll in here thinking, hey, we beat the Super Bowl champs. This team's 0-5. This team's 0-5. I see you, Ryan. I see you mouthing over there. 0-5.
That's what you're saying.
We're going to beat this team with our eyes closed. They can't play defense. They can't play offense. Maybe they'll give Chris Banjo some credit because he was in Denver. But they're going to come in here. They're going to come into Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday thinking the game is won. And Aaron Glenn's Jets are going to shock England and the world and win this game. Defense is going to play well. I'll go this far. The Broncos are only going to kick field goals in this game. The English crowd will love it. All the kicks. The Jets will look like a professional football team for the first time in a while, and they are going to win this game 24-15.
Kaz, did you hit up a
pub
here
Yeah, I
before
was
we
about
came
to
on the
ask
show?
same thing. A little bit of wine in
Just
the lobby.
Diet Pepsi. Just
Diet
Diet
Pepsi.
Oh, that was red. I think you
The
had some wine.
NFL. It's the NFL. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
And I believe in the emotions of football, and I think the Broncos are going to be feeling themselves in this game, and they're not going to know what hit them.
All right. Trap game. Now, the only thing I'd point out is that podcast was recorded before the Eagles lost to the Giants. So now maybe Denver's like, hey, maybe we're not as good as we think. Look what the Giants just did. Don't take any team lightly. So maybe that puts a little bit of that trap game narrative off to the side. But could you see Sean Payton and the Broncos overlooking the Jets a little bit on Sunday, Ed?
Not with that coach. Not with that head coach. No, I think he's the goods. Sean Payton's the goods. He's been around the block, world champion, polished. Look where he turned that franchise around quickly. Quickly, he turned that franchise around.
They won 8 games his first year, and they were in the playoffs in his second year.
And everybody thought, him drafting Bo Nix was a joke. It wasn't no joke, right? He's got that kid playing. Listen, the Jets are going to have a maximum effort. And like I said earlier in the show, okay, make them turn the ball over because that's how you win the game. Let's be on the positive side of turnovers this week. Let's them have 3 and us have 0. And I think I like our chances. But we can't turn the ball over. Penalties, limit the penalties. Play smart football. What about, listen, I love Chris Banjo, but I mean, let's be real. When your team is struggling, you should be telling your kick returners, if that ball goes into the end zone, let's take it at the 35. Okay? Let's take it at the 35. And, so when I hear him saying we're being aggressive, that depends on what the situations are, right? We can't always be aggressive. We got to be smart, right? The scoreboard kind of dictates what should and shouldn't happen. All right. So these are small little details that are massive with guys like us that love the team so much and care about every single inch of the team. So, when he's returning the kicks and you get at the 20 or the 18 or the 22, all right, you're averaging, I think it was the 22. I think they were averaging 22 yards. It's a minus 13. What are we doing? What are we doing? We got to be smart. So, listen, the Broncos, I think, are going to come to play. They're a good defense, very good defense. And they're going to come to play. So, the Jets are going to need a maximum effort. There's no question. I once again, Turnover. Got to turn the ball over. Just got to turn it over. That's it. So we'll see. We're going to find out, I'm sure hoping they can win a game because that Carolina game is going to be that's tough.
That's the only other game I'm going to this year, Ed.
Going to 0-6 into Carolina is into Jet Life Stadium is, not what
I'm wearing a bag on my head if they're 0-6 going into that game.
I'm not looking forward to that, but we'll see. Let's one game. Let's see what we do with the Broncos. And, we'll go on to the next week. I'm coming in. I'm playing Pinehurst. I'm going down golfing this week with one of my buddies that's a Jet fan, Rob from North Carolina, the good doctor. We're going down playing. So I'll be down there for 3 or 4 days, and I'm actually flying in Sunday morning. All right? I'm cutting the trip short. So I'm flying in Sunday morning. My wife's picking me up, and I'm going right to Jet Life Stadium and tailgating. So, are you going to be there Sunday, right?
I will be
at that L5, isn't they? Aren't they burning the jet? Are you going to that?
So we're doing we're doing a listener outing, right? So we have 75 plus listeners that are coming to this tailgate. We're with Tailgate Joe, so we'll be in E26.
Oh, you're in Tailgate Joe, my man. Love Tailgate. It's my guy. Tailgate
you want to stop by? We'll get you a golf cart. Apparently, we'll get you to come through.
Yeah, well,
your flight's on time. Hopefully, you make it.
You get me a golf cart, that'll be no problem. Getting through that parking lot.
The worst.
Fireman Ed ain't the easiest thing to do. I can just tell you that. I mean, it's an honor. It's an honor, but you can put on the sunglasses, the hats, everything. It doesn't matter. And, so I got invited to. I'm going to be at my tailgate, but L5 DM me on Instagram, asked me to stop by there.
You should. That's my guy Lou B, who's awesome.
Lou.
Yep.
Lou's a good guy. So I'll stop by there for sure and see them because it's right by me. But getting over to Tailgate Joe, I'll get over to Tailgate Joe. I just don't know if it'll be this week.
I'll come to you if anything, because we got to do an Irish mist. Maybe that will bring us a win.
A little Irish mist. It hasn't helped so far.
No.
But my brother is, I don't know what he's doing up there, but he ain't helped me out right now. Frankie, give us something, Frank. Frank, give us something.
Ed, enjoy the 9:30 a.m. kickoff on Sunday, and hopefully when we talk next week, we have a freaking win, man. I can't do much more of this.
I sure hope so, Jake. Hang in there, brother. You're doing a great job with everything, with the Asmaniacs and all the Jet faithful. I know it's not easy. The Jet faithful, I know it ain't easy. This is right up there as one of the hardest that I've witnessed, and I'm going 52 years. So it's tough. But we love them. We love them. I just hope one of these days they love us back. I just hope they love us back. Anyway, all the best, Jake. Enjoy. I'm listening to you in Tannenbaum on Sunday mornings when I'm driving up.
Let me tell you, you want to hear entertaining radio, having to be on during this game with him who hired Glenn for the first 3 quarters. If you want to hear a nut job freaking out, that'll be me.
Yeah. You got a question. There's a lot of questions, but we're a third of the season in. Let's see where it goes. We're sure hoping let's get one victory and maybe we can stack them. Maybe we can stack them.
That's it.
My boy Rob in North Carolina says we're going to win 5 in a row. I hope he's right. That's all I can tell you. All right, brother. All the
Ladies
best.
and gentlemen,
Go
the
Jets.
great Fireman Ed. Five in a row. Could you imagine? When was the last time the Jets won 5 straight? The 2022 season? And then in the middle of that winning streak, Elijah Moore is requesting a trade. Of course. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We only have 84 likes, but 300 people are watching, so the math is not mathing. Also, hit the subscribe button. If you want to win a signed Germaine Johnson jersey, gift the membership to enter. Be like JB the Annihilator, who gifted not 1, not 2, but 3 channel memberships to enter the raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, he's in for 3. Matt L gifting the community a 5-spot of channel memberships. Oh, yeah.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Super chats cut the line. We go to this one first from JB, who says, in times such as these, just remember you're the New York Jets and you're built for this shit. Please trade Breece Hall to the Texans. Well, offer us a second-round pick, and Breece could be yours. Do I think the Jets are going to be able to get that for him? No. Maybe a third if they're going to trade Breece. I don't know if I want to trade Breece Hall. We're going to have a rookie quarterback in all likelihood. Why not try and keep Breece Hall for another year? I think he's still a good player. I don't know if they're going to just be able to get another running back as good as Breece. Everyone's like, oh, Braylon Allen. Well, he's going to be coming off a knee injury next year. Isaiah Davis is a nice scat back. I don't, unless they're getting blown away with an offer, I don't know if I'm trading Breece Hall.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Dan says, annoys me how the Giants could beat the top team in the division with Super Bowl aspirations at home. Not like the Jets would get blown out in such game. Oh, well, wait. The Giants roster is so talented, though, right? Where are all the people that are trying to now tell me that the Jets roster is so bad? You're the same people over the summer that flipped out when, I forget who even said it. Someone in local New York media said, oh, the Giants are more talented than the Jets, and the Jet fans on this channel and on social media went nuts. Remember that? Where are those people? I wonder. Stop moving the goalpost. There's talent on this team. Germaine Johnson even just said it. So they had a players-only meeting. The defense has to stop being the reason why they're losing because there's talent on this defense, and it's unacceptable. There is talent on this defense. It's a joke. It's a joke. All of a sudden now we're going to act like the Giants are the super team because they won a game last night. No, man. Show effort. Show fight. You can win in the NFL. You can win if you're physical, if you don't turn it over, you don't commit dumb penalties. You can win games that way. You can't win a Super Bowl that way, but you can be competitive, right? If the Jets played week 1 and all these other games, they'd have a few wins right now. But it's been all downhill since week 1. And the first sign that I was very concerned with this coaching staff was how they came out week 2 against the Bills after they celebrated a moral victory, which was horse shit, and you all out there know it. And that take I had after week 1 has aged as well as any take I've ever had. And I had plenty of bad ones. That's one of my best ones ever. They no-show week 2, and now the season's spiraling. Where's the head coach and all that? Where's the problem solving? That's the job of the head coach. Giants can beat the Eagles. Well, you know what? The Jets can beat the Broncos on Sunday. Put together a game plan. Show up. Take care of the ball. It's a neutral site game where there's going to be a lot of Jet fans that are passionate in the UK that are going to be there. Win the game. Giants last night were 7.5-point underdogs. How do I know this? Because I bet the Eagles on FanDuel. Jets, 7-point underdogs. They're actually a half a point less of an underdog right now on FanDuel Sportsbook. Win the game, man. Show some damn pride. Win a football game. You're the only team in the league that hasn't done that yet. Stop telling me how bad the Jet talent level is. It's enough. The same Jackson Dart who played well last night was awful against the Saints. Win a game. So sick of it. Derek with a super chat. Why do you guys think the defense played so much better under Robert Saleh? They were better coaches. That's why. Saleh had his warts. He was a good defensive mind. You can't dispute that. 24/7 Commercial Tire Solutions in the raffle for 5. Hey, guys, it's Peter Stores on my work comp. I don't know why, but I feel like there's still hope. Well, there's always hope. It's just how far down do you have to dig to find that hope? The hope is that there's still 12 games left for Aaron Glenn to prove he's not incompetent. Ryan McCarthy in the raffle for 1. Thank you, Ryan. All right, open phone lines for those of you who want in on the show. It's a Football Friday, so we stepped up our giveaway today. We got a Germaine Johnson signed jersey. That is the top prize. Let's start it off with one of the all-time greats. First up today is our guy, Mr. Kyle Clifton.
going on, Jake?
Hello, Mr. Clifton.
So, do we really think that this team has hit rock bottom yet?
I think if they get annihilated on Sunday, I don't even know if that's rock bottom. Rock bottom to me would be they lose this game and then they lose to the Panthers as well.
That's probably fair.
Or the Bengals, and then they're into the bye week at 0-8.
Right. So I don't know if this can be a trap game. Yes, it's good that JJ is coming back, and hopefully it'll help our run defense. And yes, at some point this new scheme might click with some of the younger players like the Malachi Moores and people who are kind of new to the scheme, whether it's Brandon Stevens or Andre Sisco. Hadn't happened yet. Might not happen. But like for a trap game to happen, you'd have to have overconfidence from the Broncos, which I guess is possible, and us showing a modicum of improvement or gumption, pride, like incremental improvement to kind of on a neutral site to kind of get there. And I don't know. I guess I'm not unlike a lot of fans. Like, there's not a whole lot of things to hang your hat on so far. Maybe the improved running game. If we're gonna do moral victories, that would be the one thing, right? Otherwise, there's maybe the kicking of Nick Folk. That would be maybe another small thing. But between the coaching, between the lack of consistency and the mental mistakes and secondary weapons and a defense that is just as bad as a Jets defense as I've ever seen in probably approaching 45 years watching the team. So I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. Enjoy your breakfast as you watch the game, but go into it with your eyes open. It's most likely another loss. And, if we're competitive and it comes down to, the fourth quarter and, maybe we eke something out, that's great. But we've got to start seeing some steps from this Aaron led squad, because he made a lot of crazy, outlandish promises when he took this job. And if we don't see some incremental improvements, he's going to be out the door. I appreciate your time.
And he should be, Kyle. Well said. Which I don't want to see happen to Aaron Glenn, but folks, it's bad. Really bad. Don't excuse this. Don't justify this. Hold the team accountable for how shit they are. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. They have to earn it. It's been getting worse, not better, since week 1. They've been blown out in most of these games. Fake comebacks. That's what that was against Tampa. That's what that was against Miami. And they stink. The Kings of Garbage Time did it as well as any team could do it against the Cowboys last week. Meanwhile, Ben Johnson and Liam Cohen are combined 6-3 with teams that went 9-25 last year. Mike Vrabel just beat the Patriots. Got to win games. Renzel, I see you on hold. If you put your camera on, we'll come to you next. In the meantime, though, let's say hello right now to none other than our dear friend, Purple Belt Mike.
Purple Belt Mike, he loves the dark knight. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that Purple Belt Mike. Purple Belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Mike? We can't hear you. Thank you. Call back. Renzel's next. Hello, Renzel.
Jake, my man. Nice to finally meet you, Jake.
What's up, man?
Hold on, give me a second. I'm sorry. I was between calls.
First time caller?
Man. First time caller, man. I'm always tuned into your show. It's nothing personal. I'm just a troll. But You know,
I don't,
respect.
I don't,
just
I
see
don't
it.
even know who you are. You troll me on Twitter, you're saying? You're one of the
I
people
be
that's in
trolling
my
you on Twitter
mentions all the time?
sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
But respectfully, you know, I just see it different, Jake. You know, that's all. Like, this is what I see. I respectfully see that when Glenn took over this roster, just like us, he overevaluated this roster. Yeah, there are players here. There are players here. I'm not gonna say that. We do have players here, but we don't have playmakers. We don't have. How can I explain? We don't like. They are physically good players. Like they can make plays, but they're not mentally there, Jake. Like it can't be that 3 different coaches have come here and these players are continuing to make the same bonehead mistakes, Jake. Like at what point do we start blaming these players? And I just feel like that's the issue came with the way Salah maybe coddled them, the way Salah maybe treated them. Also, they're probably so battered down with all the losses, and they're just losing players, Jake. Like, and I believe when Glenn took over the roster, he looked at it, he said, "Hey, man," that's what he kept saying. If you go back, he always kept saying, "Oh, I just feel like these players need coaching. With a little bit of coaching, they're gonna get better, and I'm gonna coach these players up." I believe he saw the roster. He said, "Hey, there's good players here. I just have to coach them up better, mentally and physically." Right? So what's the problem? The problem is in practice, everybody looks good, Jake. In practice, everybody looks good. There are practice players and there are game players. So Glenn, he didn't really know what he had until they get into the game. And I just frankly think that quickly, 5 games in, he started to realize these players are fucking ass, man. They're mentally not there. They're mentally ass players. Like they're losing players, bro. And you can't change that. You just have to gut this roster out. Maybe keep 5, 6 players that are here now, and the rest have to go. I think purposely he didn't bring in none of his players, which everybody found weird. Why he didn't bring none of his players in? Like nobody from Detroit he brought in. Nobody. He signed Cisco for 1 year. I think that was a dark throw. Maybe we can coach him and see if we could do something. The Sherwood stuff, I think honestly that was more of we want to show these players that we keep our own if you produce and you play good. And that contract is right now is horrible. Hopefully he steps it up and becomes better.
These are all their decisions, Renzo. These are poor decisions.
Yeah, and you're right about that. But
and also, hold on a second. When you talk about all these players being so bad and they're losers, the defense was never this bad. They're off to the worst start in franchise history defensively. Don't give me that.
Yes, and I agree with you, Jake. But we also have to put in mind that they're coming from a zone defense to a man defense, right? A zone defense, Jake, you don't have to think as much. You're just put in position, stay there, don't go past this yard line, don't do this. And a man
Who hired
defense,
the coordinator, though? Who hired Steve Wilkes?
I understand that. And at the end, we all thought it would maybe be a good hire. He has coaching experience. He's a defensive coordinator for 7 years. Everybody here thought it would be a good hire. Did we not? He had San Francisco in the Super Bowl. All his defense has been good. Now, is it Wilkes or is it the players not buying into the system because they're used to zone? They're used to zone, and zone is just the easier system to run. And we have to give it time.
It's both. It's on both the players, but it starts with the coaching, Renzo. They had 23 penalties the last 2 weeks. Where's your criticism for that? Instead of just saying the players are losers, where's your criticism for the special teams coordinator not telling the kickoff returner, hey, if it goes in the end zone, take a knee? Like, they're a dumb, undisciplined football team. That starts with the head coach and it trickles down.
Yes, Jake, I agree. But how it's like a teacher. How much can you tell the players, hey, you know you can't do this. Hey, and they keep doing it. Like, Glenn is not out there playing, Jake. I can tell you 5, and you can come to my class 5 times as a teacher, and if I tell you the answer is B, and when you go and test, you put C, how is that on me? That's
Explain Jacksonville. They were last in the NFL in forcing turnovers last year. Now they're the best.
Yeah, Jake, but they were last
coaching, Renzo.
No,
Brian Baldinger saying this, not Jake Asman, a guy who played in the league.
They have a great defensive coordinator. Cool, he's his first year. But they also have a tons of playmakers on that defense.
So do the Jets, Renzo. So do the Jets.
Jake? Name me a playmaker on the Jets.
On the Jets?
Yes.
On their defense. Quentin Williams, Germaine Johnson, Will McDonald, Quincy Williams, Jamie and Sherwood. Sauce
David
Gardner.
Sherwood is a playmaker to you, Jake. He's never had a.
He was voted team MVP last year. They paid him $45 million, Renzel. That's on Glenn and the staff. They made that decision. Hold them accountable. We didn't say give Brandon Cisco Andre Cisco $10 million. We didn't say give Brandon Stevens $36 million. They did.
Yes, Jake, but I just asked you name me playmakers. Sauce is not a playmaker. Sherwood is not a playmaker. They don't force turnovers. Those are good players. They're not playmakers.
They have never been this bad, though, Renzel. The defense is historically bad. Germaine Johnson Germaine Johnson just said we have too much talent to be this bad. He's right. Quinn Williams said they're the worst defense in the league. He's right.
Yes, and we do have talent to be this bad. We shouldn't be this bad. But my thing is,
so who's responsible for that?
What I'm trying to say is that I just think it's because they're trying to come out of zone. They play even Connor.
So adjust the scheme then, Renzel. You're saying it's the talent. Okay, so why is the coach then trying to force a round peg into a square hole? Right? That's coaching. Adjust.
Yeah. Well, that's what they know. That's what they notice now. That's what Connor said. They noticed that these players are not buying into man, so now they're trying to blend in zone with man to help.
They notice now. We're 5 weeks in. They don't have a turnover.
Jake, week 1 they looked okay. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he started
noticing. And it's been worse since, Renzel. That's the problem.
Jake. Against the Bucks, they weren't that bad, Jake.
What do you mean they weren't that bad? It was 23-3. It was 23-3 before 23-6 before they scored their first touchdown in that game. What are you talking about?
But the defense only allowed 1 touchdown, Jake.
The defense let Baker Mayfield go right down the field twice. Will McDonald blocked the first attempt to win the game or to put the game away, go up by 9, and then Baker Mayfield needed 4 plays to get into field goal range for a chip shot field goal to win the game.
Right. Yeah, blown coverages and it is.
Of course, I'm right. The defense is awful. I have eyes, Renzel. I have eyes.
Yes, we all have eyes, bro. But this is more of a scheme thing. I just feel like it's like I'm not.
So if it's a scheme thing, you said it was a player thing. Now it's a scheme thing. This is coaching. Repeat after me. Coaching. That's the problem.
Did you forget that Olbrich had a tackling class last year? We forgot that. Did you remember that?
Renzel. Olbrich was terrible too. That doesn't help your argument. But here's what we could say: Steve Wilkes and Jeff Olbrich could both be very bad. That's allowed. No, that's what's happening.
No. You know why it helps my argument? Because Olbrich is now in Atlanta and he has one of the best defenses. And the same players are on the roster, DC. We have the same
he's
players
not the head
on this
coach
roster,
and the
Jake.
DC there.
And they
Robert
still
Saleh.
don't know how to tackle, Jake.
Renzel.
The
Robert
players
Saleh
don't know how to tackle.
Oh my God! What do you mean? That's right. They forgot how to tackle. That has nothing to do with coaching.
Did we forget Olbrich gave him a class on tackling? And this
Renzel,
year we're still leading the league
fell
in
apart after Saleh was fired. All right, when Olbrich became the head coach in the DC, they fell apart. They were never this bad with Robert Saleh.
So they forgot how to tackle because a guy got fired. That's what you're saying.
It's not that they forgot how to tackle. They're not in position half the time to tackle. Look at the coverage breakdowns. They're not even in position to get a hand on a ball or fall on a fumble.
But you're bleeding into my point, Jake. That is the one thing remains.
You're
the
helping
same
my
in
point.
all of this.
They're still poorly coached.
One thing remains the same in all of this. The same players are here. We have different coaches, but the same players remain.
He
and the
chose to keep many of these players, Renzel. Nobody said you got to keep Michael Clemens. No one wanted that. Nobody said, hey, bring back Tony Adams and Isaiah Oliver. Those are great moves. Nobody said trade up for Tyler Barron. Nobody said neglect edge rusher in the draft, defensive tackle in the draft. Oh, don't sign any edge depth. They did this. Nobody said sign Cisco or Stevens. They have to live with it. These are their decisions. Hold them accountable for that instead of excusing it.
I'm not excusing it. Stevens has actually been our third best graded defender after week 2. So Stevens is coming along. Cisco, he's bad. Okay. Hey Jake, you're not gonna hit on every draft pick, bro. After round 5, those are dart throws. He hit on the first 4, did he not?
Stop it. The reason why this team has been horrible and during this playoff drought is when they were good, they were finding guys on day 2 and day 3 of the draft, like Jericho Cottrey, right? They were finding players that could help them. They were finding, guys that could help them on both sides of the ball, whether it be Coleman or Smith or the Vernius Coles. Like, go down the line. Some of the offensive linemen, like Brandon Moore, you go back to those teams, you have to find guys on day 2 and day 3 of the draft.
Yeah,
and this first draft from Muji looks terrible.
Looks like he's gonna be a guy. Doesn't he?
Not really. He has not played great. Let's be fair.
He's right. What, man? He has been set up.
I'd rather him play than Tony Adams and get experience. But come on.
He's a better player than Tony Adams. He looks better than Tony Adams.
Yeah, but Tony Adams is not an NFL player. Neither is Tyler Barron, who they traded up for.
He wasn't that bad, bro. Tony Adams wasn't that bad. He's bad, but he's not that bad, Jake. Like, these coaches see something we don't, clearly, because they're in practice with them every day. You think if Malachi Moore or anybody else would be better in that situation than Tony Adams, they wouldn't be out there? I'm pretty sure they would be out there. They don't want to lose, Jake.
Renzo, let me ask you something. What benefit of the doubt does this organization deserve right now? They're 0-5. They don't have a win. They're the only team in the league without a win.
But it's too early, Jake. Let him.
What have I said the whole time, Renzo? What have I said the whole time? The best thing I could say for Aaron Glenn, he's got 12 games left to show improvement.
Hey, I respect that, but it's not just, there's a lot of fans saying he should be fired.
I'm not saying that, though. Just take that up with other fans. I had not said that once.
I'm not saying you. I said there's a whole bunch of fans saying he should be gone. How can we trust this guy to draft a quarterback? That's unfair to the guy, bro.
It's not unfair. Win football games. Those are real conversations if this doesn't get better.
He drafted his first 3 draft picks were hits, bro. How can you say you don't trust the guy? He drafted a stud right tackle. He drafted a stud tight end. He drafted a stud a cornerback in AZ time that we all think is going to be good. Malachi Moore is also, we all think he's going to be.
Stop with Malachi Moore. All right. You want to give him credit for Membu and for Mason Taylor? That's fine.
You guys been saying put Malachi Moore to play. Now you're telling me.
Yes, he should play. It doesn't mean he's been good. I'd rather him play than go out there and watch Tony Adams 100%. But also, Renzo, they signed Brandon Stevens for big money. Then they spent a 3rd-round pick on AZ Thomas. How is that good asset management?
Well, you have 3 corners that play. They obviously don't believe in maybe MC2. Maybe AZ can move inside. Maybe
they shouldn't believe in Michael Carter because he's been really bad. But how much of that is all of a sudden he can't play like Sherwood because they're being poorly coached and not utilized to their strengths? Isn't coaching putting your players in the best position to be successful?
Jake, that's scheme, bro. MC2.
You're saying that scheme. You're saying that scheme. So that's on Steve Wilkes, who hired Wilkes. Shouldn't Glenn be more involved in his defense?
And that's the only thing I have gripe with.
That's the only. Okay, you are some fan, Renzo. Dude, you're the best kind of customer for the Jet organization. You'll accept anything they do.
Because when you hire people, you want to allow them to do their job. If Glenn would have got fired after his first year in Detroit, he would have never became where he is now. You have to allow them to do their job and marry their scheming. So he's not trying to get in Wilkes' way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in the meetings telling him, yo, listen, we got to do something. Let's switch something up. Yes. But you want to let them coach. You don't want to be meddling with your coaches. That's never gonna look at Brian Dable with Wink. That's never gonna work, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I believe what he's doing is he's giving him until the bye week, get it straight. If he does nothing after the bye week, then something is seriously wrong with Glenn. But you want to allow your coaches to coach, Jake. You can't just after 5 games say, you know what, you're out. It's not. You gotta give it time, Jake. Like, I understand. Yes,
I'm giving it time, Renzo. I'm also not going to sit here and belittle any Jet fan who says if they finish with the first pick in the draft, which is where they're picking right now, they don't want Aaron Glenn back. That's a fair conversation. This team is going to be drafting a quarterback. You want to be the Bears and keep Eberflus around and ruin Caleb Williams for a year?
So
why are we delaying the inevitable?
So let me ask you this, Jake. All right, say we go 2-15. We fire Glenn. Who's going to want this job, Jake?
I could get a lot of people that want this job. I have cap space. I have the number 1 pick of the draft. I have an offensive line that has 2 bookend tackles. Jake. I have a number 1 wide receiver. I got Quinnen Williams. I have Sauce Gardner. I have talent. I could get a lot of people. Brian Flores, who's from Brooklyn, New York, would love to come here. Mike McCarthy
Yeah, of
wants
course
back in. He would.
nobody
John
else
Gruden's
wants
an offensive guy. He wants back in. I could find people that would want the job. Cliff Kingsbury
Jay.
wants to be a head coach again. He might want this job. There are
Jay,
guys
you
that will
forgot.
want this job.
Yeah, you must have forgot how many people didn't even want to take an interview for this job, bro. You must
Some
have
of the
forgot
guys,
that last-
some of the guys I mentioned weren't even asked. Weren't even asked.
Because I mean, have you listened to Connor spoke on this, and he said respectfully, that's because they didn't ask because they already was told, don't even bother, bro, because we're not interested.
No,
Ben
Mike
Johnson
McCarthy would have
said-
kept Aaron Rodgers. That's why he wasn't asked.
Maybe, but Aaron Rodgers was not going to do any difference to this roster.
I'm not arguing that.
So-
I'm just telling you the idea. You said, "Oh, you can't fire Glenn because who would take this job?" Believe me, they said that about the Houston Texans too. They went through 3 coaches in 3 years. They landed on D'Amico. Now look at them. Oh, the same thing was said about the Niners. They had 3 coaches in 3 years. It led them to Kyle Shanahan. All right, the idea that we just got to keep a coach and he goes 2-15.
Start, Jake? How was Kyle Shanahan first year?
Okay, so Aaron Glenn's gonna be Kyle Shanahan. That's what you want to sell me now?
You don't know that. If you don't give it time, you don't know, Jake. How
if
will
they
we
go
know?
2-15, Renzo, I don't care if Aaron Glenn ends up being Shanahan for somebody else. He's got to go. No, see ya.
That's that. You see, that's that. I don't agree with that. That's
if you
just bad,
defend
Jake.
2-15, which
Jake,
would be
that's
the
just
worst
bad.
record in
Well,
franchise
it
history.
depends. Wait. Let me fix mine. It also depends how that 2-15 goes. If we get our doors blown out, then you got to make a change. But if we're competitive and just losing these games by a field goal, by this, then I got to give them. I got to give them more.
Which hasn't been the case. They've been getting blown out.
No, that's Jake. Game 1, we lost on a 60-yard field.
One game. That's the outlier
Game
game.
3.
What's happened since then, Renzo? I was there. That was a fake comeback. That was a fake comeback. Stop it.
Then? In Miami, we're going down and
great. Celebrate your moral victory. They almost scored an opening drive touchdown.
It's not celebrating, Jake, but is that Glenn's fault? He's fumbling the ball?
It's Glenn's fault that they had 13 penalties. Renzo, they had 13 penalties. Whose idea? Whose idea was to have Braylon Allen out there on kickoffs? Whose idea was to have that guy Isaiah Williams?
They didn't have nobody else. They wanted to see maybe he give us some spark out there.
You
got to give points some other way.
They did this to themselves, Renzo. They kept Xavier Gibson in the first place. Cost them a game. Then they replaced him with Isaiah Williams, who had the huge fumble against the Dolphins on the kickoff. And then fair catch the ball at the 2-yard line. These are their decisions. Stop excusing it.
I agree that the special teams decisions, these returners have been horrible.
Right, so let's just keep the coach. He can do no wrong in your eyes. He's the man, baby. He's Shanahan. Just give him more time.
Jake,
yeah.
5
Can't
weeks,
wait.
Jake. It's 5 weeks.
Right, but you're saying you'd keep him at 2-15. I think you're nuts to say that.
Depends how we are 2-15. Zach Taylor went 2-15. The next year he was in the Super Bowl.
I don't care. I don't care.
So then you're not trying to hear. You just have your narrative. You don't want to hear.
He's an offensive guy, and they had the first pick of the draft who got hurt, and they had Joe Burrow. That's it.
Dan Quinn was a horrible coach. He drafted a rookie and implemented his defense, and he went to the NFC Championship in 1 year. It can happen anywhere, Jake. It can happen anywhere.
So 2-15. Let's keep Aaron Glenn. It looks like he's in over his head. That makes a lot of sense.
Depends, Jake. That's all I'm saying. We're just listen. I'm as bad down as you.
Also, where are you getting this Dan Quinn? Dan Quinn was 8-8.
No, I never said he was 2-15. No, I said he was a horrible coach in Atlanta.
He went 8-8 in his first year, and then his second year he went 11-5, was in the Super Bowl. His third year 10-6. Then it started to fall apart. He had back-to-back 7-9s. Got fired.
What I'm saying. And he was considered a.
But he started off better than Glenn.
He had Matt Ryan, Jake, and a good team. Come on, Jake, don't compare that, man.
Who chose to sign Fields? They chose to sign him.
So who else would you want at quarterback if it wasn't?
You want this regime to draft a quarterback? You think they've earned the right if they go 2-15?
I don't have a problem with them because anybody could get it wrong. Kyle Shanahan, the offensive genius, he drafted Trey Lance, didn't he? Did he 100%. Get it right?
But here's what Kyle Shanahan does really well, right?
Did he get it right though?
Of course
he did it right.
No.
So that can happen to anybody, Jake.
Right, but okay. So let me finish. I have a retort to you. I have a retort to that, right? He obviously got it wrong. I'm not even going to say, well, they had Brock Purdy, thank God. But you know what Kyle Shanahan does? He calls plays as well as any coach in the league. Aaron Glenn's a defensive coordinator. Fix your defense, dude. Saleh, as bad as he was, this defense was never this bad. All right, at least he had that unit figured out. He was at least an expert on his side of the ball.
Year one
Shanahan
was pretty
does.
bad, Jake. Year one was pretty bad.
They had no talent. They had no talent. This team has talent. It shouldn't be worse.
Jake,
their number one corner was Bryce Hall, dude. Come on.
Okay. It was still pretty bad. It's a new system, Jake. All I'm saying is I'm not excusing Glenn, man. I just hope I'm
That's all you've done.
No. I'm as bad down as every fan. I want to win, but I just think it's unfair to the guy, man. The guy, he gets
the season. He gets the season, Renzel. He gets 12 more games.
He has the right attitude, Jake. I mean, I just think
but everything he said has been the opposite. I don't care what his attitude is. They made fun of Liam Cohen at his press conference. They made fun of Nick Sirianni at his press conference. All these guys that lose the press conference, turns out they're all actually good coaches. The only coach that lost the press conference that actually was horrific is, of course, Adam Gase, who this moron, brother of the owner, said he's coaching football to where it's going. Enough, man. Enough.
Yeah, man. But like I said, Jake, can we give him at least, give him 10 games, man? Like before we
gets this. I'm giving him 17 games. I want to see this team improve.
I just think it's unfair, man, with all these fans, the way they're going about this. It's not as easy as people.
You can't blame the fans, though, Renzel. You can't blame the fans. You understand what this fan base has been through? You're a diehard Jet fan. This team hasn't won 7 games. Dude. Then you can't expect fans to be blindly positive. We're sick of it, man. They haven't won more than 7 games in a decade. Forget the playoff drought being the longest in sports or not winning a division title in over 20 years. Forget the fact that they haven't won a Super Bowl since before the moon landing. Like, you can't expect fans to be blindly positive. I am not, but people being upset and not wanting to hear, oh, big ships take a while to turn. When you came in and said you're going to win now, you're going to clean up the penalty problem, we're going to tackle better, you're going to be a team Jet fans are proud of. And outside of one game this year, the first game, there's been no positive things we could point to where we felt proud. I mean, come on.
Yeah, wait, I don't know what I did here. Sorry, hold up.
You had a good run, Renzel. Thank you. Yeah, I think this conversation was meant to end because I might have an aneurysm. I can't. Stop excusing losing, man. If you're saying fire Aaron Glenn now, if you're one of those Jet fans, you're overreacting. He gets the year. He gets the season. But I'm not going to sit here and fault any Jet fan who says at 2-15 they don't want Glenn back. Come on, man. Some of these other head coaches, it was never that bad, even though they ended up figuring it out. Don't give me all Jimmy Johnson was 1-15. Great. Come on. All right, if you tuned in late, we are giving away a Germaine Johnson signed jersey at the end of the show. NY Jets Florida says the coaches do not commit the penalties. No, but it happens under their watch. And if you're going to blame Robert Saleh and his staff for that, then Aaron Glenn and his staff, when Glenn vowed to clean up the penalties and it hasn't happened, they've had 23 combined the last 2 weeks against mediocre to bad opponents. It has to be better. Hollywood Rio checks in. Bold take. Jets win 30-20. Fields throws 2 touchdowns. Brees breaks 1. Defense locks in. London Bridge ain't the only thing falling. Broncos are 2. Got my Klecko ball, by the way. Thanks, Jake. Hollywood, I'm glad you got it, my friend. Thanks for supporting the show. I hope you're right, man. We need a win in the worst way. The worst way. God. All right, more of your calls. Black Gypsy's next. What's up, Gypsy?
Yo, Renzel, you were wrong. And everything that you just said, there's so many examples to why you're wrong, but you're wrong. All right, let's go through the first fact. Saleh took that same team and made them play defense. So it's not players.
He also won 4 games his first year with way worse talent.
It's not
see
players.
What Glenn can do.
I hate when people say that shit. Like the players. Every time we trade a player away and they go to another team, they fucking excel. Like the only times they haven't been good and then they went back to the original coach is Saleh. Huff and the people that were on the Jets that left the Jets and went to Philly and all of them, when Saleh got them back, they're playing great football now because Saleh can put them into positions to play what they do best. So it's not about the fucking players. People are fucking stupid. Trade our whole team away now. Like, no, our coach is bad. Say it factually, our coach is fucking bad, and that's it. He's bad for numerous reasons. He's bad for running his fucking mouth and getting our hopes up when he could have said rebuild season. And we would have been straight with that shit and been like, all right, cool, we're going to lose some games. Let's see how good we are as we lose these games. All right. Second thing that he did, he hired fucking Wilt. And as a defensive coordinator, to watch another bad defensive coordinator and stick with him does not instill confidence in the fucking fans. We're going to lose our shit when we see a bad coach and another coach watching him and not saying anything about it. Like, it's not cool, bro. Like, everyone wants to be like, oh, yeah, I'm giving him the year. And if he keeps Wilkes and Wilkes doesn't get fired, I don't want any conversation about Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is garbage to me if he keeps Wilkes. Because knowing that someone is bad on your team and keeping them and expecting anything better is just fucking asinine. Like, we need to be realistic from what we've seen over 5 games. Over 5 games, we are the worst team in the NFL. Not because of our players being bad, because of our fucking defensive coach and our offensive coaching. You said penalties, right? Like, yo, if you came in and did something with the penalties, we wouldn't be as mad. We would have lost games and been like, yo, the team, then you can blame it on the players. Like, they're just not playing good. But he opened his mouth. And now you have to retract all those statements and hide behind, oh, we're going to watch the tape and our practices were good. When I would rather respect a coach that just calls out what it is. That's why I liked Belichick. Belichick would throw his coaches under the bus or not say anything or just be like, fuck the media. If you're going to have this take and be this guy, then say, fuck the media. Let the media hate you anyway. I'm not telling y'all shit. Like, I'm going to do what I want. Thug life. Like, fire me if you want to. Like, stand in it or don't. But you don't get to play both halves of it's infuriating to have fans like him. Because fans like him, we're going to keep on sucking forever. Like, we got to stay with the guy because he's going to rebuild. He said he wasn't rebuilding. He said he was bringing in a whole new mental and confidence. So we believe this confidence. Bonesy said it yesterday. We believe that shit.
He said they're not the same old Jets after they lost a week 3 game and they've lost by worse margins in the next prior games. He has no feel for his own team. That's the head coach. He's
in over his head and learning. Just say, I'm in over my head and I'm learning as we go. Like, give us truth when we're losing. Don't feed us bullshit because it makes us feel like we're stupid. And we're not stupid. We see what we see. So, like, to all these fans that are like, fire Aaron Glenn, you have the right to say that. But he does deserve the season. I'm going to give him the season. I'll even give Wilkes a season. But I know we should fire Wilkes. From game 1, I saw what I saw, and I'm like, you don't understand your personnel. If your guys can't play man, play zone. Whether you're bad in zone or not, like, we know you can't play man. So something has to change. If he comes out this week and we're playing man again and we get beat and we're predictable, then yeah, like, I have to blame Glenn. I can't blame Wilkes anymore because you're a defensive guy watching another defensive guy shit the bed. Like, we need to be honest with ourselves. No, like Rebecca in the chat and Jay Quest keep on telling, like, shut up, bro. What you're saying is nonsense. We're losing and we're losing badly. We're the worst team in the NFL. Don't tell me about wins from what you've seen in the last 5 weeks. Don't tell me about trap games and the Giants winning in it. Like, we are not the Giants. Our organization is shit, and we've been shit for a while. Aaron Rodgers made us feel a certain way, so we forgot how shit we were. But we need to, like, be realistic. And if we're being realistic, like, this is not a good season. We're going to end in losses. Like, the only saving grace that I see that we keep Aaron Glenn after 1 year is that he takes over the defense and something changes. If we keep on losing with Wilkes the way we're losing, the fans are going to get extremely mad and be like, I'm out. Because there's nothing to hope for. Like, before, when we'd lose games, we'd mess up and there'd be a tiny bit of hope to be like, oh, maybe we can win. Like, we're getting blown out 3 quarters, and then we have the garbage time when the defense is just playing prevent basically and giving up yards. Like, it's stop, man. Stop with the nonsense. Let's be honest. This team is bad. They're gonna lose, and something needs to happen. Like, if we go 0-0 and we keep the same staff, people are gonna get replaced. That's just, it is what it is. Like, whether you like Glenn or not, it is what it is, bro. Like, we have to be factual. And there are coaches that will come to this team. McCarthy wanted to come to this team. And when you talk about Wilkes' defense, like, people forget how bad he shit the bed in San Francisco, why they fired him after the Super Bowl game. How bad he shit the bed in Carolina, why he has not been a good coach. If he was a good coach, like Arizona, he's been bad everywhere. So the fact that Wilkes hired him, like, I have to question some of your decisions. Like, some of the players you kept, like, did you go over them? Did you like it's just bad all around, bro. And someone needs to catch the blame, and Wilkes catches the blame. That's it to me. I don't want to hear all the rest of the nonsense that people are saying. Like, the players are good enough. Like, if they're not good enough, then you can see it. We saw it last year and the year before. So they obviously can win games. This isn't about being a successful team. It's about winning a game at this point. Like, we're not successful anymore. We already lost that boat. It's just now we need to try and win a game. And in winning a game, like, your fans are going to lose their shit when you're losing mad games, bro. Like, we're going to have this reaction. Like, you can't say stuff and then not back it up. That's what it feels like to me. Like, you're not backing up anything that you said. And now like, we're not supposed to say anything about it. We're supposed to be like, oh, okay, we suck. It's all
Give
right.
him more time. It's fine. It's
Right,
enough, man.
It's
Show
infuriating,
improvement.
man.
Show
Like,
improvement. Mike
details
Gypsy.
and strategy.
I
We don't have
appreciate the call, Mr. Gypsy. Well done. Show improvement, man. Glenn gets the year. They're sitting there 2-15. I'm not letting him pick a quarterback. There's no way. No way. Houston went through 3 coaches in 3 years. David Culley, Lovie Smith, landed on D'Amico Ryans. Niners. Jim Tom Sula or Harbaugh. No, what was it? I forget their order. There was someone in between there, but they had 3 coaches in 3 years before they ended on Shanahan. Like Tom Sula, somebody else, and then Shanahan. Steve Wilkes was 1 and done with the Cardinals. Then they hired Cliff to coach Kyler Murray. Cliff Kingsbury, you don't think he'd want the number 1 pick? There's guys. Spencer, I got both your raffle entries through your $10 super chat, so you're in for 4. More of your calls right now. I think I know what we need. We got to calm things down a little bit. Let's get some clarity on everything going on with the Jets. Let's say hello to the Lane Train.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good. Jake.
Hey, Lane.
How do you feel about the game on Sunday?
I don't feel great about it, Lane. I think the Jets are
Really?
overmatched.
Is it because you think that they're not gonna win, or are you just nervous?
I think they're not going to win.
Wow. What else do I have to say? Who do you start?
Try and start good players, ideally.
You start Fields, or do you start Germaine Johnson the third?
Well, I would start Fields and Germaine.
Because I know that the last call I heard, he was very into it. The one that was in the car.
Yeah.
So do you? Okay, I mean, I just don't think that the Jets are going to make the playoffs this year because they're not that good. You know,
I
I'm
agree.
upset about it.
Lane, I think you're onto something. I don't think the Jets are that good either.
It's because all those injuries they have because they're forgetting how to play going into week 7 already. So yeah, they're just not doing good. I think you really got to fire somebody.
Who would you fire, Lane?
Aaron Glenn's got to go. I'm sorry, but I don't think he's doing a good job.
You fire him now at 0-5, but there's still 12 games left.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, I'll give him a chance. But if he doesn't do it, you're going to have to let him go. And you could interview maybe Wilkes.
You want to hire Steve Wilkes?
Steve Wilkes, or maybe somebody else that could take over. There's a while, there's like, who else would you like maybe Bill Belichick. He could be a Jets coach.
He was a Jets coach.
Really? Oh.
For about a day.
But he has a younger girlfriend, though. That's weird.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Odd.
Do you think so?
Why, though? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's a grandpa. Isn't that weird?
He's a grandpa, and that could be his daughter.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean,
could be his granddaughter.
I know. He's so young. And yeah, so Yankees lost. I thought they were gonna win.
Did they lose?
Yeah, fortunately, I thought they were gonna force a game 5. I was watching the Dodger game last night. and the Dodgers clinched, so they're playing either the Brewers or Cubs in Game 1 of the championship series. All right, that's all to talk about. Thank you for taking my call.
Lane, anytime. Well done.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
That's exactly what we all needed, folks. The Lane train. Spencer, all caps. He says, yeah, this roster is good enough to win. Don't you guys know we have won a lot of them the last 3 years? Cannot believe Linden just fire the entire roster and start brand new. Hell yeah. Love you, Jake. Well, Spencer, to push back on, because I know you're going at Black Gypsy, there's not a Jet fan out there who didn't think this team was horrendously coached a year ago, and that had a lot to do with why they only won 5 games. That and Zerline being terrible. So let's not pretend like we all weren't super excited about the talent this team had going into last year. We were. It wasn't just Jet fans either. There were people that are neutral observers of this team, analysts, who had the Jets as a top 5 roster in the league. It shouldn't be this bad, folks. We could debate who's responsible, but 0-5 is unacceptable. Don't accept it. Spencer says we were excited because of Rodgers. Not true. You were excited because of Aaron Rodgers coming back to a team that had the 3rd-ranked defense in football in 2023. And, by the way, entered the year coming off a 7-win season that won 7 games with Zach Wilson winning 5 of them and Trevor Siemian winning 2 of them. That's why we were excited. It's Aaron Rodgers plus a very good team, we thought. Let's not pretend like that wasn't the reason. The goalpost moving, though, is spectacular by some. I do love it. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to listen to a man who's got 13 points.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Wow. Renzi got us fired up this morning, boy.
I love it.
I do too. You know, Black Gypsy, right on the money with the Rada rebuttals. But, man, you left out a couple of things, though. Let's go back to the beginning. When we hired Mr. Aaron Glenn, what was the first thing he did? He disrespected a Hall of Fame quarterback and walked away when he came halfway across the country to talk to him about it. That's the start, okay? Nobody talks about that one. But that was a pretty big screw-up to start his thing. Then he basically took no quarterback in the draft, and his guys, he wants his guys. So he goes out in free agency, gets Cisco. That's his guy. He wanted Cisco. Then he wanted to have Stevens. That's his guy. Then who's not his guy? Eccles was not his guy. Bye, Eccles. We're not going to sign you. Goodbye. You're not our kind of guy. You make interceptions. We don't like that. Then he signs Sauce and Sherwood to fat-ass contracts. The only guy I wanted to sign a contract to was Garrett, and he knows better because he's a defensive coach. There's 2 kinds of coaches. There's an offensive-minded coach and a defensive-minded coach. Now, on defense, there's no accountability, no discipline, no changes, and no coaching up defense. We talked about it many, many times. Olbrick, and I don't know if it was Olbrick or if it was Salah, but they coached up mediocre players to really good players. That was part of what made them good defensive coaches, right, Jake?
I agree. That's how they were able to win 7 games with no offense.
Who did Olbrick coach up on the defensive side of the ball in his tenure? I want to hear some names, and maybe you leave one out. I can fill in.
Well, I think it's Obrick, Saleh, let's just say Saleh's staff, right? Because I think they all have a hand in it, right? I think if you go back through Saleh's time, I'd point to guys like JFM, Quincy Williams. They got the most out of all these defensive tackles they signed and played next to Quinnen Williams, right? The names are escaping me. The guy that signed with the Texans.
How about Huff?
Right, I was going to get the Huff. Huff's another one. Sherwood is a shining example of that. Michael Carter was a day 3 pick. He's a shining example of that. They got the absolute most out of their defensive players. Their downfall was their offensive development was non-existent. The coordinator hires by Saleh with Hackett, horrific. The O-line coach hire, the worst decision he probably made as the Jet coach, keeping Keith Carter around. So that's why Saleh failed. He wasn't a good coach, but he was a good defensive coach. So one thing we could give him. Glenn's supposed to be able to problem solve, right? That's what got him the job. The Lions had all these injuries. They still were playing hard, forcing turnovers, making plays with not a whole lot of talent. And we've seen the Jets force a whopping total of 0 turnovers so far.
Right. So we hired. So here's the thing. What we expected with the hiring of Aaron Glenn that we were going to have a really good defense. And Wilkes, he must know more about defense than we do when he hired Wilkes. So we thought our most deficiencies were on the offensive side of the ball. And that's what we were looking to improve because we thought our defense was at least going to rebound from being an off defense last year. The year before, we were top 3, top 4, whatever. We're used to our defense saving our asses. Last year, it didn't do so well because everybody regressed. But we thought by hiring Aaron Glenn that our defense would be a given that it was going to be much better. Right, Jake?
I think we all expected the defense to be a lot closer to what it was in 2023 than how awful they were post Saleh being fired.
And now it's worse than 2021 with no roster. It's horrible. So
it's worse than 2020. This is the worst defense they've had since the Gase final year.
So in conclusion, despite the fact we have the biggest reasons to be shit all over Aaron Glenn, we're going to give him this season. But I'm telling you right now, we better see massive improvements on the defense. We better see massive reductions in penalties and turnovers. We better see a goddamn turnover. What are we going to see? Turnover, Jake? Like Joe Beningo said, when are we going to see one? Not next time Bonesy's wife falls on his dick, please. But get it before that. And if we see these things get better, then we'll evaluate. And please let it start Sunday. I don't want to see us do great against Carolina when you have the big game 2 weeks. That would be nice, but I want to see it against Denver. I want to see us step up and play a team like Denver and really show improvement. That will impress me. So let's see it happen Sunday. From now, this is all bullshit talk. Forget about what coach we're going to get. Forget about what draft pick we're going to get. Forget about trading Breece Hall right now. Those are all bullshit things we could do. We got plenty of time in November, December, January to talk about all this bullshit. Right now, let's get a win, guys. Let's get a win Sunday. Let's get positive. Let's hope it happens. And then we'll reevaluate. Thanks, Jake. I'm going to cut myself off before you.
These goddamn exploding cigars. I gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Love it, Neil. Neil's still finding a way to be positive. Look, a win is all we're asking for, man. Like, put forth a good performance, and we'll be like, okay, there we go. Now we have a winnable game against Carolina. Now we have a winnable game against Cincinnati. 3-5 at the bye, all of a sudden doesn't sound so bad. The Giants are 2-4. People are talking about them like they're a Super Bowl contender. It's one win. They lost to the Saints last week. Like, winning, man, that's what you got to do. You got to win games on moral victories, which we haven't even had. It's been worse since week 1. Nathan in Florida is next. Hello, Nathan.
Hi, Jake. How are you?
What's up, Nathan?
Just a couple of comments first. First of all, Gypsy's right. Secondly, Neil's comment about flying Aaron Rodgers in, across the country. If somebody works for you, you have to bring him in to the office to fire them. Fire them on the telephone. That's all right. But that's not the reason for my call. I have seen every Jet team since day one. I've seen every Jet coach since day one. And I can honestly say that this Jet team here has more talent than at least half of the Jet shit that I've watched over the last 62 years. They have you already went through it all, but they have two bookend tackles. They have a real good running back that if you put Brees Hall on any other team, he would be a Pro Bowl player. Of course, G is great. Defensively, Q is great. The defensive ends, if they play up to the way that they can, they'll be fine. Sauce, no matter what they say about Sauce, and we pay Sauce, 25 million. Do you honestly think that we're the only team in the league that would have paid Sauce? Okay, everybody would have paid him. Okay, this is a good team. This is not a great team. This is not a team that will win 10, 12 games. But this team is more than capable of winning 7 and 8 games this year. And the reason why they haven't won 7 and 8 games, because we have a coach who I love that as a player from day one said, we're the New York Jets. We're built for this shit. Well, if we're built for this shit, then he should have fired Wilkes after week 3. Okay, we are not built for this shit because we have a person in this job who I like personally, who's not qualified for this job, period. I will give him a year. If we're 3 and 14, fine. But if we lose 15, 16 games, he has to go because we are all sick of this shit, especially me, who've seen everything. Listen, I lived through the Bubby Brister years, which was terrible. I lived through Jet teams that were crazily terrible. Okay. I also saw Jet teams in Shea that were great, that should have won a championship, but never did. And lastly, Jake, it was really nice to meet you in Tampa.
Likewise, Nathan. Great to meet you. Appreciate you coming out to the events, and I know you've been suffering for a while, so
a long time.
I hope you get to see some real good football soon. I really do.
Soon. Okay. You too. Take care.
Nathan checking in. Great call. That's a guy who's seen it all, man. Like it's been that bad through 5 games. Once again, the best thing I could say for Aaron Glenn is it's 5 games in. Now, the one thing I'll say is he's not going to fire Wilkes, 3 or even now 5 games in. He should consider demoting him, though, even if it's like a quiet demotion. Like if we see Aaron Glenn with the play sheet covering his mouth, and it's obvious he's calling plays, that's what I would like to see. I want to see this coach be a problem solver and be more involved. It's his unit that's getting destroyed. Spencer Green says, here's the reality on Wilkes. 2023 Niners ranked 1 in turnovers, top 10 across the board. 2019 Browns ranked 7th in the league. 2006 ranked 5th, 2nd in the league in interceptions. Miss me with this. Look, the Wilkes hire hasn't worked, but I wasn't completely down on it when they made it. I thought Glenn needed to hire someone to his staff with experience, and I thought it made sense because, he's a former defensive coach, but it hasn't worked. And I think if you're Aaron Glenn, all right, you made a mistake. What can you do about it? I think that's the next thing. Mr. Magoo checks in. He's in our Germaine Johnson signed jersey raffle for 5. Thank you very much, Mr. Magoo. He says, Jake, I just received my Garrett Wilson jersey. I love it. Thank you. And thank you for everything you do. Jet fan till I die. And he just wrote the same thing twice in the same super chat. Love it. Thank you, Mr. Magoo. Appreciate it. I'm glad the jersey arrived safely. Mike Perez says, 1 win, that will change everything. 1 effing win. Just win. That's it, Mike. All of a sudden they win. I'll have people calling the postgame show Sunday saying, now we're going to beat Carolina. We're going to beat the Bengals. We're going to be 3-5 going into the bye. Then we're going to beat Cleveland out of the bye. We're going to be 4-5, and then we're in the hunt, baby. We're back in this. All right. And if that happens, we will have to update a lot on this show. Instead of having no wins, we'll have 4 wins. That's what we want to see. There's your positivity. More of your calls. Purple Belt Mike is next. Hey, Mike.
How's that? Is that all right? Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. All right. You got me on, Jake?
Oh, we got you.
Sorry. My wife's mom cut her hand, so I had to give her some Band-Aids.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I wish I was wrong. I feel like this is how Alan feels because he's always negative and he's right. But I want to be wrong. And I don't think it's crazy to say that Glenn is not the guy. Everyone and everything has gotten worse, and it's more embarrassing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think anyone should get mad at anybody for saying, "Oh, you should consider firing Glenn," especially if we're 0-17. Like, what are we talking about? You're gonna bring a guy back. Literally, we'll have the best record in the history of football. Like, what are we talking about, people? This is why people say Jet fans are delusional, because you can't wake up to reality. If we are 0-17, there is no way in hell that we should bring him back. I don't care if he signed a 5-year deal. The money is meaningless. You brought up multiple teams that had 3 coaches in 3 years until they got it right. There is no way in hell, if we are 0-17, that we should bring him back. 0%.
Well, 0-17 without question. I think 2-15.
Some people have blind faith. Oh yeah, you got to let him just figure it out and whatever. If we're 0-17,
no, he's done.
No,
He's done.
No.
Now, I would
way.
say 2-15. He shouldn't come back, especially if, like, folks, if the wins are what I think is unfortunately going to happen here. They win 2 of their last 3, right? They beat the Saints. They beat Buffalo playing for nothing when they're resting all their starters because they're the 1 seed in the AFC. Like, if that's how they're getting their 2 wins, no, thank you, because those games don't matter at that point when you get to late December.
Correct.
Win games now, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have 3 games coming up: Carolina, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. Those are all winnable. I don't think they're going to win this week, but can you win those games? Like, come on, man. Win games against teams that are supposed to be in your weight class. Dallas is in your weight class. They were missing 3 offensive linemen and 2 of their best 3 receivers and had the worst defense in the NFL going into that game, and you made them look like the 85 Bears. So I want to see this team beat teams in their weight class. They should have beat Miami. They shouldn't be getting destroyed by Dallas. They should beat Carolina when we're there next week. They should beat Cleveland and Cincinnati. Like, these are games you got to win.
Exactly. I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. And we're gonna have what? Him not be the guy, but just because he had 1 year stay. If he proves that he can't coach, then he can't coach. We have to stop being delusional. We have to just know what we have to do, and if we have to move on, we have to move on. There is no benefit of the doubt. We have been crushed as fans, crushed. So, and it's melting into the players. Like, listening to their interviews, that it's gone to like a point of no return almost. So, I don't know.
Neil says it looks like you're in the back of a dry cleaner.
Yeah, my sister's, my wife's sister is getting married today, so we got clothes and all the stuff hung up because we're going to a wedding.
Oh, a Long Island wedding?
Long Island wedding, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah.
A little chilly outside for the wedding pictures.
I know. That's why I'm actually off today, because I took off for the wedding, so that's why I'm on now.
Well, I hope the wedding is fun and you enjoy yourself, because the pain continues. 9:30 a.m. on Sunday.
So Rich Cimini had this thing on today, and he said, "Oh, I think the Jets won't get embarrassed. They'll lose by about 17 points." I'm like, that's still embarrassing.
I actually was listening to that because my uncle texted me that DiPietro referenced me in one of the questions to Rich. He's like, Asman's losing his mind already, or is dead inside or something.
So, yeah. So Cimini, at that point, he started laughing because he obviously talks to you, so you could tell. It's like, oh, I know Jake Asman.
Yeah, Rich is coming on with us because he's not in London, so he's doing a 9:15 hit with us before the game kicks off at 9:30 on Sunday.
Rick said I should hand my purple belt back. Maybe that'll help with the Jets. And I'm like, yeah, I might as well. I mean, I can't do anything for a while anyway. I might as well give it back.
Well, I'll tell you what, PBM, hang in there and enjoy the wedding later, all right?
Yeah, I'll try.
Ladies and gentlemen, Purple Belt Mike.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, someone who is not shit is our girl, the great Mimosa. How about a 20 spot? Are you kidding me? Of gifted channel memberships. I got to grab my damn helmet. Let's freaking go.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Strap it on, baby. The Mekhi Becton game-worn helmet. You can see it fits perfectly. Whoa. Here we go. Mimosa in the raffle for 20. Are you kidding me? If you hear your name called, thank Mimosa. J7 Truther, Taylor Sterling, Aaron Glenn win a game, Joshua Langley, Jack Mills, Ryed Syed, TH3 Entertainment. Some of these names are made up. Matthew Wright, Cynthia W., Aaron Glenn, for the love of God, please win a mother effing football game. Mark Ferrero, Adrian Roston, Tenacious S, Jay Brown, Crappy, Chris K, Steve Wilkes, you might get shit canned if your defense sucks Sunday. TB, Motivated T, more fake names coming. Jaime G, is this name real? B. Saez, all receiving a gifted membership from yours truly, Mimosa. She's in our Germaine Johnson signed jersey raffle for 20. All right. Now, a couple more super chats and calls, and then we will do this actual raffle. We'll do some over-unders through FanDuel with Nick Faria on the afternoon show today. We've been very good with some Jet bets. I gave Garrett Wilson over his receiving number last week. He hit that. So we'll give some more later. This one is from Jets, who's in the raffle for 2. If I have to see one more graph propping up Fields, I'm going to go insane. The level of coping is off the charts. Jackson Dart's the best quarterback in New York, and he's played 3 games. Just embarrassing. Dart looks solid, no doubt. And, yeah, I mean, I would obviously take him over Fields. That said, the Fields stands, it is impressive. Here's what you do to anyone who's trying to justify Justin Fields. And I'm not trying to rip on Fields because I don't think he's their biggest problem. We know what he is. They have to play a very specific type of game for it to work, though. They can't trail. Show them this. Since week 1, the Jets have not scored an offensive touchdown until they've fallen behind by 2 touchdowns. Look at the scores in these games. Take out the Tampa game because that was Tyrod. But the Buffalo game, 30-3 before they scored a touchdown. Actually, that was Tyrod too. Yikes. Miami, 17-3. Dallas, 30-6. It's bad, folks. Spencer Green writes, in PBM, you handsome bastard. Go apply to be the damn coach. Teach these bastards karate. I'll tell you what, if you want karate, if you want someone who knows all things about the real people of Japan, as he has said, this is the guy.
You know what that is, Jake? Tiger Claw. Taught by the great Bruce Lee. Remember, boards. Don't hit back. So, I like Neil's points. Body slam city. Lazy, lackative, no control, no controlling the ball. Very sloppy, like a sloppy Joe. Knowing me, I like sloppy Joes, and knowing me, I'm not a sloppy Joe person anymore, and I don't like Chinese. I like Mexican food. But these boys better start playing like they want to goddamn mean it. And next year, if we go this bad, my 2 top coaches for the division for the Jets, it's going to come down to McCarthy, and it's going to come down to Sexy Rexy.
Now, let me ask you, Beast. Why do we have to fire Aaron Glenn right now? Why can't we work from the turning around?
Right now, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Get rid of Wilkes. He's lazy. He's not so good. He's very lazy. He's too slow, and he's making the train much more slower.
Spencer Green says, get this rotten bastard off the show. Apologize now.
Get
Your
out of
alliance
here.
has been
I
taken
don't
over.
give a rat's ass about that Goomba anyway. I don't talk to wise guys who have a smart Alex mindset. What I'm here to do is make the point loud and clear. If we go 4 or 5 games with wins, okay. But here's the thing. You move Aaron down to the defense department. Put him there. Either you get McCarthy or you get Rex. Rex will shape these teams up. Do you remember that one saying when every time when the Jets win, when they go in the locker room, you know what they used to say? And the home of the Jets. You remember that, Jake? You remember that?
I do. Absolutely.
That's what I want to hear from these boys. It's time to say, cut the shit, get your balls up, start acting like it. You want to be here? You wanna earn this? You're not getting it that easy.
Now, Beast, let me ask you something, though. To do the home of the Jets after a win, you have to win the game first, no?
Correcce mundo, je no sais quoi. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. The enemy confronts you, they're the enemy. An enemy deserves no mercy. That means time to man up. Get your boots tightened up. Get your ass on the field. Stop missing shots. Don't be doing this or this or this or whoops. Go for the legs. That's all you got to do. Is it that hard? Is it hard to go for the legs?
Hey, Beast, can you look, if the Jets are going to win, they're going to have to tackle well on Sunday. Can you give people one final tackle tutorial?
Oh, watch closely. Get the dummy bag ready. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is a tackling dummy. An example. What you want to do is go for the legs. You see how the legs are? You go for the legs. And then when you get the legs, you drive them down. You don't do this. You don't grab him by the face mask. Go for the legs and drive his ass into the ground like a railroad spike. Or if he wants to come at you, wrap him around the body and drive him down so he cannot get up to get any penetration in his lungs. This is what the examples are. It's not hard. Just remember, go for the legs. And don't do this because you know you'll get a 15-yard penalty for face masking. Learn the examples first, girls. This is real football, not pansy flag football. You want to play pansy flag football, you can go to the Park District. If you want to come into the NFL, learn the examples. Again,
Hey, Beast, I heard the Jets are having some tea and crumpets before the game Sunday. Would you recommend Aaron Glenn? Tell him not to do that?
Put that shit away. Put that shit away. You want to earn tea and crumpets? You got to come to work. Example again. Legs right here. Legs right here.
Are you a fish and chips guy?
Do you see this right? What I'm saying? Don't be going for the face mask. Oh. Watch closely. 1, 2, 3. Go for the legs. Or if he's coming at you, wrap it around your body and then just drive him into the freaking ground like he's a spike. This is simple stuff, girls.
Reminder, the Jake Asman merch store is jakeasman.com/shop. There you'll find Beast Breaker themed t-shirts for those interested. Plus a bunch of other great items. If you're done buying Jets merch, Asmaniac merch is even better. Spencer Green says, Beast, you and Gorman are Colts fans. Fraud. Now, Beast has denied that. Spencer. The only Colts fan is Gorman. Beast has denied that. He claims this picture is doctored and not real. So I stand with Beast. I think he's telling the truth. Beast, this is definitely not you, correct?
Nope. It's fake. AI fraudulent. It's crap. Throw it in the garbage. Basura. Basura mente.
Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Home stretch. We're giving away a Germaine Johnson signed jersey. So if you want to enter, you can gift a membership or send in a $10 super chat, or higher to qualify. Ladies and gentlemen, home stretch of calls. Let's say hello next up to Eric, who's next on the program. Hello, Eric.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Eric?
I mean, I'm going into the MLB playoffs. This has nothing to do with the Jets, obviously, but I'm a Mets fan, so I was unapologetically a generational hater going into it. So, I mean, you can't necessarily say you blame me, but it is what it is. My hater arc has been completed with the Phillies loss last night.
Yeah, you got off
So,
easy. Yankees done, Phillies out. I mean, that's you're all
yeah,
set.
I have friends that are Red Sox fans too. So, no matter what happened between the Yankees and Red Sox, I was cheering for the Blue Jays after the fact.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, anybody who I think is blaming the players is just coping. Like the coaching has just been worse, if not the same as what it had been the last like 3 years with all the penalties, poor tackling, and whatnot. And I don't know how you can justify keeping the same coach while getting the number one overall draft pick. Like I don't know how you can do that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I have no way of like proving this at this point, but my expectation going in for the season for the Jets was not necessarily a win prediction, but a benchmark of can the Jets win 6 games, and I don't think that's going to happen. Like if they could win 6 games as is, I'd say, well, okay, at least the coach looks somewhat okay and competent. They may or may not know what they're doing, but they earned
Well,
a
that'd be
second year.
6-6 the rest of the way, which
That's not
wouldn't be
happening.
awful, right? I mean, like I had them at 6 wins before the year started, and they're not going 6-6 the rest of the way based on what we have seen so far.
Yeah, I have no reason to believe that they would. Um, I was fine with the hire at the time with Glenn. Got on board like others. Wasn't my number one choice. Number one was probably Brian Flores, but I guess that's never going to happen. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the Jets. It's just unfortunate. But I will say that there is a unique opportunity that most number one draft pick teams, or they have the number one pick in the draft, I would say the vast majority of them have a combination of terrible offensive lines, no weapons, and no defense, because that's generally what happens when teams are bad. And the Jets have a weird situation where they have a good offensive line and a number one wide receiver. So, I mean, and they have a bridge quarterback for somebody. So, it is what it is. But at least there's some reason that a top prospect coach would come to the Jets when they see those things in place already.
Yeah, it's not the worst place for a rookie quarterback because
Yeah.
you do have an O-line, you have bookend tackles, you do have maybe not Brees, but Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis is not bad. Mason Taylor looks solid at tight end. Garrett's Garrett. You have players on that side of the ball. You do.
Yeah, like there's something there tangibly on offense at least. So hopefully that's enough to entice somebody. Woody should just drop his pants if Harbaugh gets fired to do whatever he can to get Harbaugh on board. But they just need somebody that knows what they're doing generally. So Glenn clearly hasn't shown any of that.
You're first time caller, Eric? I don't recognize you.
I called one time last year, so maybe I'm just like a annual caller type of situation.
Well, you're a good caller. Call back more, all right?
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Eric. Well done. I will have to say one thing to you, though, because you said you're a generational hater, and I'm with you. At least my baseball team made the playoffs. At least my baseball team made the playoffs. On that note. All right, I got time for, let's say, one more call, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll raffle away a signed JJ jersey. I think we all need to relax a little bit. Maybe we need to chill out. Gator says, I think Big Cho might need an intro.
Big Cho. Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner. No, I just called to check in. Big Cho. I don't like all those wrinkles on my head. I don't have that many wrinkles. We're talking about Big Cho. My implants are coming in 3 months.
The Kardashian ones?
Put the jet gear on for you. Been running some errands early. Came home just chilling. Big Cho. Jake.
Big Cho.
What's up, my brother?
Living the dream, Cho.
Hey, I sent you an email. I'm having trouble with my tickets.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to walk you through how to transfer them. Like if you open it up, maybe do the Ticketmaster app on your phone and click on them, and you'll see there's a button that says transfer.
Well, I go to Google Wallet, and that's where my tickets are.
Well, don't go to your Google Wallet. Go to the app. Pull up the original email where you got the tickets and go through that.
Well, I got them from you.
Right. You got the ticket sent, but you need the actual ticket from the Jets from Ticketmaster.
So go to Ticketmaster.
Check. You got an email from a guy named Matthew Volpe. He sent you your tickets. So that's where you save it to. I don't want to do this on the air, Big Show. You're not going to understand a word I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
This is brutal.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry I'm not that good with the computer, but I know in the Google Wallet it just has the tickets and you can scan to get in. It
Yeah, but do you have the tickets that you bought from the website that I had people make their payments so I could collect the money? Or do you have the actual email that you received your tickets from the Jets?
I have the actual tickets.
From the Jets?
Yes.
Okay. So go back into that email from Ticketmaster, and that is where you can access your ticket and transfer the one back to me that we're trying to sell for you.
Well, I have to go to Ticketmaster because in Google Wallet it won't let me do that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Ticketmaster. Like I opened it up on my phone right now. I have my tickets right here.
All right. I'll try it.
And then when you're in Ticketmaster, you'll see it's very easy, Big Show. Once you're in there, you click on the ticket and there's a button that says transfer. Have someone on your basketball team that you coach help you. They'll be able to do it.
All right.
Look, you click on the ticket. You see this? Let's go full screen here, Joe. Look, I'm going to show you. All right. See this? Here's the ticket to the game. You scroll down. You'll see there's a button that says transfer.
Okay.
You hit that and you put in my email, my name and email. That's it. Wonderful.
All right. That sounds good. You doing okay today?
Never been better, Big Show.
What's the main topic of the day? I just got back home from the doctor, so I got on late.
Main topic of the day.
Yeah.
Beast Breaker's got a pimple on his ass.
Nice. So you've been talking about that for a couple hours?
About an hour and 51 minutes.
So I missed it. What a shame. Well, we got about 8 more days, right? Nine more days for the meetup.
Oh, yeah.
8 more days till I fly up. Looking forward to it.
Us too, Big Show.
Got another Jets t-shirt on today.
It looks great.
Appreciate it. I always try to represent, even if we're not winning any games. I like that scenario you were talking about, us going on a run of wins. What were you saying? Beat Carolina and then beat who? Cleveland?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, then Cleveland? That possibly can happen, right?
Well, anything's possible.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I got the Wesley Walker jersey ready for Sunday morning. So maybe that'll bring us luck.
From your lips to God's ears, Big Show.
I got you. That's all I got today. I just wanted to ask you about the tickets.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy the show.
I'll do my best, Big Show.
All right. Appreciate you, Jay.
You got it, Big Show.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Now, that was a phone call, folks. You won't get that on any other Jet show. Mr. Magoo has sent in another super chat. With Germaine Johnson coming back this week, do you think we'll have somewhat of a pass rush He keeps writing the same thing twice. Magoo, you're in the raffle for another 5, though. I do think it will help. I don't know how close to the Germaine Johnson we saw week 1 he's going to be in this game. It can't be any worse, though. Germaine being back will make everyone a little better. I do think it will help. And he's a leader, man. He's not going to, if the Jets have a bad turnover, they fumble again, and the defense has to go out there and try and defend. I don't think Germaine's going to allow them just to be like, oh, woe was me. Let's go give up another 90-yard touchdown in 4 plays. I think that's where he's going to help. He's a leader. David checks in. Jake, has there been any indication how well Glenn and Darren Muji are working together regarding Jets player personnel decisions? We've had nothing on that, David. It's very early. But here's the thing. Muji reports to Glenn. The Jets won't say that, but Glenn has the autonomy. Woody Johnson referred to Darren Muji as Aaron Glenn's sidekick at the press conference. That's all you need to know. More of your calls before we wrap, because we're not ending on that show call. We got more people who want in. Jet Set Go is next. Hello, Jet Set Go.
Hey, Jake. What's going on? Long time no call in. I skipped ahead. I don't know what I missed or what I didn't. I was going to say, did anybody bring up the Giants game last night?
Oh, yeah. People have been referencing Dart's performance.
It just rips my heart out that when we were looking at a new coach come the Sala go around, that I believe Dable was also, I don't remember if he was interviewed, but I do feel like he was available at that time. And, there's the fan base of the Jets are always a defensive team. We're going to go defense. But as the league is going and progressing, it's becoming much more offensive. It would have been nice to have had an offensive coach who, granted, he stumbled with Daniel Jones. We never thought Daniel Jones would turn into anything yet. Under Steichen, he's doing quite well. I'm happy for him.
He was hired a year after Sal, for what it's worth. I don't think Dable's a great coach, though. I also don't think that he's necessarily going to save his job. I think this could still. The Giants has lost to the Saints last week. They're still 2-4. They can't just win this one game against Philly and then go back into the tank. They're going to have to win some games here now to save his job. So we'll see.
I'm curious to see if last night was a statement game with the Eagles being who they are, conference rivals. I mean, I'm sure it did well for him. Again, I agree with you. I don't know if it saved the job, but it definitely was a nice statement piece.
It helps. For sure. Yeah. But I think I don't think this means all of a sudden Brian Daboll is this great coach. I don't know about that. I mean, Daniel Jones is balling out right now with the Colts. That's a bad look for Daboll and the Giants.
That's fair. I didn't consider that. I also wanted to say things like, I think that if the losing continues with the Jets, I think we should consider sitting Fields, not as a disciplinary thing, but more of you got to get your head right. Let Tyrod play. Don't put in the third stringer. I forgot his name, the young kid, but even if Tyrod isn't as good or perhaps even worse, I think perhaps the presence of a pocket passer might actually help this offense. In Tampa, it didn't turn out to be too well. I mean, we still lost nonetheless, but I do think that I know Kaz was saying on his pod for the post, you can see Fields thinking. When he's in his read, after his second read, you can see him think, and that's a terrible thing where I feel like Tyrod's always had that pocket presence awareness and kind of is looking to throw it rather than to scramble, which perhaps works better with this offense had he be given another shot at starting. I don't know, but I'd be willing to try it, because at some point when the losing continues, it's just firing people become, just destitute as far as hope goes. And you got to do something. I mean, look at Brees with the shoot yourself in the foot and come back and shoot ourselves in the head. Meanwhile, then the next game, he's the guy that fumbles. Yep. You couldn't write it if this was on some HBO show. It's so bad. And as much as we're all here and it's sad that we have nothing else to watch, I'm not going to be a Charles Gorman. I'm not going to go anywhere, but I do admit that there's something when in times like this, I can't watch the game. I'll watch Red Zone. I'll let them show me the clown show that is the Jets right now. And it's just okay, that's why I'm not wasting my Sunday. And it helps me be less miserable, but I'm also, when I miss a touchdown, I'm pissed that I wasn't there to earn the right to cheer for my team, because I didn't watch the other 59 minutes of them just fumbling, missing tackles, complaining about what's not going on. And it's tough. And I do want to also give a shout out to the caller that was arguing with you whether or not he was right. I don't think he was. It's nice that there is some dissent on the show and that there's not, we're all commiserating, and I understand that. There's not much good to talk about. I don't think that there's anything good coming down the pike. I can only hope that they start to win and that we can call in and really talk about it that way. But in the meantime, somebody with some opposition, somebody who's got a different thought, Not me, but if there's other callers out there, I'm much more interested to hear that as well. Somebody that's willing to argue with you. And I want to give you credit for not hanging up on him sooner. I feel like some people may have just like, F it, like you're not making any sense. But I thank you for leaving him on and just like going back and forth with him because we need something else going on right now.
I appreciate that, Jet Set Go. You got to call in more, though, man. You always are a good caller.
Like you do it during the work hours, and I think I told you this last time too. It was just like, when are you going to do the afternoon drive show? When are you going to do the 5 to 7 to 6 to 8? You're a radio guy, and I'm like, I cook dinner, and I'm home at that time.
Yeah.
And when you do this stuff in the afternoon, I know you got a life going on, and I missed the ESPN show, and I'm sorry. That's what I wanted to ask you too. When you're on the ESPN show, and I catch snippets of it, and I appreciate it because I love listening to you. And Mike Tannenbaum seems like he's good on ESPN, man, GM, and now with this whole 33rd team, it's not looking good. But what kind of like line do you have to watch stepping when you're with him? Because I mean, as Maniac host, I'm sure you want to say, like, what the hell is wrong with you, Mike? Like, why would you represent this guy? Why didn't you do that? And I'm sure professionally you can't do that, but how do you navigate that as like, I want to ream you out emotionally, but because you're the color for the show, I need to respect you.
Well, the thing is, like when we're talking about like the Jets, we're talking about them on like a week by week basis, right?
Yeah.
So he's been very pro Glenn, but he's even acknowledged like it hasn't looked good. And last week he was talking about stay the course. Yeah. He picked them to win. Now we're going to be doing this game as they're playing, so he's not going to be nearly as positive, right? So I'll keep it real with him. I'm not going to scream at him and be like, "You're an idiot for recommending Glenn." Like, and by the way, it's not like him recommending Glenn was a wrong. Like Aaron Glenn was qualified for this job. I think there's a lot of people who wanted him to get this job in this fan base, but ultimately what he can't do, and I can't speak for Mike, he can't blindly defend this as like, oh, like behind closed doors, it's actually getting better. You guys just don't see that. Like Mike's not an idiot. He's going to acknowledge, look, it's 0-5. It doesn't look good, but he's probably going to say what I said. There's still 12 games to go for them to, show some improvement and turn things around.
Is there any, I don't know if whatever you can release on air, but you can't, but like, I know Spielman is probably in a temporary role. I don't expect him to be here next season. I'm sure that they'll hire some kind of assistant. Like, was there any conversation as to like what that role is going to look like going forward? Do they have a guy internally that they like, or like, I even thought about like who was the GM that did the analytics there in the hiring cycle? Was that Fontenot from the Falcons?
Oh, you're talking about he came on the show too. Why can't I think of the guy's name?
Yeah.
Big fan of his. Thomas Dimitroff.
Thank you. Right. And I also agree with you. Like the same thing with the Eagles. They got that young kid who's all about stats and all about numbers, and you need somebody who's analytics driven. And I would be curious to know what the analytics department is for the Jets because it feels incredibly small.
Well, they've added people to that. And Spielman, by the way, is full time. So I don't think they're gonna bring in like someone brand new unless they make even more changes. But like Muji hired a guy from Denver, Robert Patton. I think it's Robert Payton.
Yeah.
And that was his assistant GM. That was his big personnel hire before the year started. So he's got his people, but the Jets scouts were the ones who ran the draft because you can't bring in everyone in one offseason because those scouts are under contract through the draft to send in their reports, and it's on them to go through those reports and then make a decision. It's just they're not also making any decision without Glenn signing off on it because Glenn is like Shanahan. He's like Andy Reid. He's like Sean Payton. They're a head coach-driven organization. The problem is Aaron Glenn's never been a head coach before, and he also has GM power too. That's a lot of responsibility for a guy that we're just basically putting our blind faith in right now.
I respect that he came from the draft. He started scouting, and that Bill Parcells told him he's got to start as a scout before he goes into coaching, and he has all these other names that he pulls on. But it reminds me of like, you remember when Zach Wilson would be like, "Oh, I called Drew Brees about how to play quarterback and how to do this and that," and now you have Glenn going, "Well, I spoke to Parcells and I spoke to them." No one cares. No one cares. Stop calling people. Figure it out. I don't care if you hired a consultant to come in and tell you how to fix stuff, but like these guys that have been so far removed from the game for decades, they were excellent when they were playing, or they were statement pieces. They knew how to play football then. Football is so far removed from what it used to be, and it's evolved into something else. And this time it does not feel like we have evolved with it. I like Enstrand. I don't think he is perfect, but I do feel like we finally have an offense that with the right personnel could be executed in today's game. And it makes me feel good that he hired that one right. Wilkes, I understand that he can't fire him yet because then the flack goes straight to him. Like right now, you at least have a fallback guy. Hopefully you support him. And if you start firing people before the season's even halfway through, you then become part of the clown show. You can't start firing people that fast. I was going to ask, when was when Dan Campbell pulled the responsibilities from the other coach. From
End of the year.
Yeah. So I think you got to wait it out. I think we're all in this. And I think Kaz was all, I want to say it was Kaz or it was Samini that, like, if you fired, let's say we fired Glenn now, then we would technically be paying 2 coaches or 3 coaches, right? Because we would still pay Salah, then we pay Glenn, and then we would pay a new coach to come in and take this team. I know it doesn't go against the cap, right? But it's my understanding like Johnson has never done that, or I don't know if he will ever do it.
It's also never been this bad though, Jet Secco. So that's what you got to consider as well. Good call. Call back more, man. Nice of Kyle Clifton to lend you his estate. A couple super chats here, then we'll do the raffle. Big fella says Brandon Stevens questionable for Sunday per Samini. So that's per the injury report, not even from Rich, but here's Rich's tweet. Stevens now being listed with a neck injury, so he's questionable. If he can't go, you got AZ Thomas, Quantez Stiggers, and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. as the other corners to look at. Michael Carter's out as well. Bo C with a super chat. What coach or player has done in the past doesn't translate into the present lack of success. Yeah, what any coach or player has done does not necessarily translate into success. A winning franchise is the only fix. Words are great, but don't amount to bleep if wins don't follow. Yeah, the words sound great. We all wanted to believe Aaron Glenn.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any
Right?
questions?
We all wanted to believe that. But now we're getting, this type of nonsense, which no one wants to hear. Let's be real.
Could always beat the narrative of same old Jets, but it's not.
But I know this: they're not the same old Jets.
Everyone wants things now. It's the instant coffee age. But at the same time, we're grinding.
Here's what I do know. I know this is an instant coffee league. I know from the media to the fans, everybody expects this, when you just start, okay, we're going to the Super Bowl. But we've all played Legos before.
We'll watch the tape.
Watch the tape.
No one's got time for that. No one wants to hear you had a great practice. Another good week of practice for your Jets. They are a dynasty, folks, Wednesdays through Friday. We just don't ever see it, but take my word for it. There is no team in the NFL that has better Wednesday through Friday practices than your New York Jets.
The practices have been damn good. They are, but
nobody practices like the Jets. They are the practice field champions. I might need to make a shirt. Practice field champs. Oh, God. Nobody practices better, and nobody gets more moral victories better. Black Gypsy in the raffle for one. I'm about to spin the wheel. Oh, yeah. Also, Ryan McCarthy, I see you, dog. He gifted another channel membership. I'm putting him in the raffle, the Wheel of Champions. Ryan's membership went to listener Chef Jets fan. Thank you, Ryan. And Black Gypsy's membership went to Dick Chimney's Burner. Love it. Love it. Right. Let's see. Black Gypsy, we need moral victories jerseys. Practice champs and moral victories. We're on it. Unbelievable. All right. Germaine Johnson's officially back, though. He was a full participant on the injury report that just came out. So in honor of that, we're going to give away a signed JJ jersey. But wait a second. Eli at the buzzer. JJ jersey also still got the Jets by 10. Eli Betts, you are in the raffle at the buzzer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Good luck to everyone who entered. The Wheel of Champions is officially up on your screen. Hit the music, baby. Only one can win today, but if you don't win Tuesday, you're automatically entered to win the following 3 prizes: a signed Justin Fields jersey, a signed Sauce Gardner jersey, and a signed Bart Scott Can't Wait jersey. We'll do another giveaway during the afternoon show today. Football Fridays, the giveaways, we step up and deliver you the goods. Good luck to everyone. And again, thanks to everyone who sends in the super chats or the memberships. You guys are the lifeline of the show, and we couldn't do it without you. If you win, email me your name and address, asmanjake@gmail.com, and I will get the jersey sent out to you as soon as it gets sent to me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The winner is she wanted it. She got it. Mimosa, the winner of a signed Germaine Johnson jersey. Let's go. Hit it for Mimosa. Give her the Jet chant. Again. Congrats to Mimosa. She's the winner. We'll give away another item on the afternoon show. You guys are the best. Thanks for sticking with the show despite the Jets being a joke and not deserving any of us. We're back at 4. Nick Faria will join us. He's got some over-unders we'll go through for the Jets and the Broncos. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. I leave you guys with a short clip that feels appropriate on a day like today. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy. And of course, as always, go Jets.
I'm Beastbreaker and I love Harry Potter. I'm a magical fart wizard. Abracadabra, bitches. I'm gonna blast ass in my diaper. Get me a bag of dicks. Get me a bag of dicks. Get me a bag of dicks. Bag of dicks. Bag of dicks. Bag of dicks.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.